As a teacher, has a student ever started their period in class? If so, how did you handle it? Boy, do I have a tale. I used to teach 4th graders. 4th graders are usually 9 to 10 years of age. Normally, girls would have their first periods 1 to 3 years after this age, or so I thought. So dealing with first-time periods or periods in general is never something I expected to deal with as a teacher of 4th graders until one day. This girl was usually one of the most talkative in class, that I got used to looking her way to make sure all's good, or give her the look to quiet her down. Relax. I'm not Nanny McPhee. Sometimes I have to work harder than just giving the look, to get the class back into order, as you will see this time. The girl has lighter skin color than the normal brown, so she clearly turned crimson when I looked her way. Is everything all right, Jalen? I asked, and she nods her head and turns a darker shade of red when she feels more eyes than just mine looking at her. I don't see you doing your assigned work, I added from in front of the room. Strangely, she remained quiet. So unlike her, I thought as I walked to her at the back of the room and realized that she was tearing up. What's wrong? I whispered, automatically sensing something wrong. She must be sick, I thought, and felt her forehead as I stopped at her desk. It felt cool and normal. What's wrong? I whispered again, hovering over her so my face is closer to her, coaxing her to say something. She looked down on her lap and brought her hand out from inside her table where it's been. Her fingertips were stained with blood. What I did next is not something I'm proud of, and I felt like a traitor afterwards. My voice switched back to the regular classroom voice and asked what happened. Where did she cut herself, as I tried to inspect her blood-stained fingers. With a look that says, "How could you betray me?" She pulled her hand out of my grasp, stuffed it back inside her desk, put her head down on the desk and started sobbing. I looked to her friend who sat next to her, with a questioning look, and she said out loud, "She's having a period." My disbelief made me a real ignorant prick and an ass that day. Here's exactly what I said next. "How is that possible?" Friend shrugged her shoulders. At this time, we had the attention of the whole class, and some of the boys are whispering among themselves and giggling. The girls wore looks of amazement that Jalen is having a period. They could be having their periods soon too. These are flat-chested girls who are not too big to be lap kids. So I have the hardest time trying to get my brain to register something else. I lost my cool and control over the class for the rest of the time remaining until recess that day. Jalen wouldn't leave her chair to come with me to the restroom as I suggested after apologizing. The class became noisy when I was apologizing to Jalen and informing her that I'm going to the office to call her mom to bring her change and stuff she'll need. Her mom showed up at a good time though, right after the bell rang for recess and the students were let out. Jalen finally got her from her chair. With a blanket I provided, she was wrapped up to hide the large stain in her jeans and led by her mom to the restroom. After talking with her mom later at their car, when I went out with them to see them off, she said some girls in their family would have their periods earlier than most girls in their age group. Usually around 10 to 11 years of age. Jalen was 9 at the time. The period news spread like wildfire among 9-year-olds to lower age groups. I had to have a period talk with them before we started the class after recess. By the end of the school day, everybody at the school knew what a period is and that Jalen in 4th grade is having one. I know I would have handled the situation better, but I really was not expecting it. I'm sorry, Jalen. The first year I was a teacher, this happened. A kid came in at the start of my 4th period class and said, "Hey, there's something on my chair." We had maroon chairs. But it was immediately obvious to me that the stain on his chair seat was blood. 3rd period had left just moments ago. And I knew the student who'd been sitting there earlier, this teeny freshman girl wearing a skirt, and I doubted that she had any idea she'd started her period. Thinking fast, I said, "Wow, looks like someone spilled their nail polish. That sucks. Let's put a towel over it. Anyway, Bob, sit in this other seat, and we'll have this taken care of." Meanwhile, I went to the back of the class and got a pair of sweatpants I'd stashed there for my own use. They were not the loveliest sweatpants, but they had two major advantages: they were black, and they were clean. After looking up the freshman girl's schedule, I put the sweats in a bag, wrote a sealed note, and called over another student. "Take these to Mrs. Whatever in room XYZ. Tell her they're for student PDQ, and please give the student this note and this bag." The note said, "Dear student PDQ, please ask to go to the restroom and take this bag with you. You may need what's in it. Please don't worry about returning these, and I hope this helps." The next day, she quietly thanked me. I could tell she was embarrassed, so I made it like it was no big deal. Hey, it happens. From that day on, I keep spare sweatpants and t-shirts in my room. It's easy to find inexpensive sweats at Walmart, and I get t-shirts for various school occasions all the time. I never want someone to feel ashamed over what is a simple and normal bodily function. Even if not all of us have this function, all of our bodies have, at some point in our lives, probably been the source of embarrassment in one way or another. If a $10 pair of Walmart sweats can make someone's life a little better, it's a worthy investment. Edited to add, thank you for all of the kind thoughts and responses. I truly appreciate all of the warm-hearted things people said. Wow, I'm blown away. Of course, yes. This happened a few months back. I was teaching biology in Class 8 menstruation topic. After I finish teaching a topic, I will generally ask students to read that topic from their book. Suddenly this girl stood up. I thought she might be having some doubt. She walked up to me and asked me if I could come out. She calmly told me, "I think I am menstruating." I was a bit taken aback as I just taught the topic. But she knew about it. She asked me if I have a sanitary napkin. I gave her one and she knew how to use it. She was comfortable. Still, I asked her if she would like to go home and she said no. Even though I informed her mother after the class, she also said that if the girl is comfortable, let her be in school. I felt very proud of my student. On another occasion, my daughter was on periods and she slightly stained her uniform. It was a white uniform, so clearly visible. Her class teacher saw this and very calmly told her that if she wants she can call me. But she and her friends put some chalk powder on the stain so that it is not easily visible, adjusted the bag that it is covered, and then caught an auto and came home. She did not panic at all. Her teacher was quite astonished at her presence of mind. A colleague of mine had entered the menopause phase. She was feeling very tired and sat on the chair and asked the students to write something. When she got up, there was this stain. Her girl students noticed this and suddenly all of them circled her in the pretext of talking to her. They told her about the stain only on reaching the staff room. She had tears in her eyes. Very thoughtful kids indeed. The girls of my country of this generation are definitely aware about the changes that happen to human body in various times, and they are well prepared to handle them. Boys are also aware of these and are ready to help the girls.